Hello, peeps. Today we are going to try some Sauvignon Blanc. That's how you say it, Sauvignon Blanc. This one is from Chile. It's from what people often ask me is, what does this little DO mean on the bottle? And that just means a designated area. And that means that this wine must be 75% of the grape that it says on the label if it says one grape. So that's called a single varietal. And this one says Sauvignon Blanc, which means that 75% of this must be made from Sauvignon Blanc. If it's exported to the EU, 85% of it must be Sauvignon Blanc. Interesting thing, wines exported to the EU, if it has a single grape listed on the label, it must be 85%. It's the law. Let's try it. Let's see what happens with the wine. Doo-doo. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Screw top. No corkscrew required. It's also vegan. It's about 12.5% alcohol, which sometimes is interesting because sometimes that will mean that it's sweeter. Let's find out. Woo! That smells like a lawnmower or a big green pepper to me. So Sauvignon Blancs kind of go across the spectrum. You can get, most of them will be dry, and you get these ones that are on one side, which I call the green ones, and those ones smell or taste like green pepper or cut grass or asparagus. This one, lots of people say whack of asparagus. I get a lot more green pepper personally. I also hate that style of Sauvignon Blanc. And that's why it's so important to know your flavor profile. The first time I tried a Sauvignon Blanc, it was this green style. And so I assumed I hated all Sauvignon Blanc. Someone would say, "Hey, would you like a Sauvignon Blanc?" I said, "Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I hate it." And then I remember I went to this restaurant with a girlfriend of mine, and the bartender said, "Hey, would you like to try some Sauvignon Blanc?" I'm like, "Nope. Nope, 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 nope." And he said, "No, you've never tried this kind of Sauvignon Blanc." And I tried it. And guess what? Wasn't green and I loved it. It was delicious and I loved it. Anyways, this one is from Chile, and Chile is a really cool little country. Not only is it the narrowest country in the world, it's also the second longest country in the world. It has the Atacama Desert to the north, it has the Andes to the east, the Pacific to the west, whichever way that is. But I do know south is this way, and that's where the Patagonia glaciers are. It is affected by El Nino and La Nina. What does that mean? That means that certain years are drier and certain years are rainier, and that can impact the wine. Let's try a little bit. So green, so green. I find that I am so sensitive to it that it's hard for me to get past that flavor, and that's why it's so important to know what your taste profiles are. In Chile, there's about 145,000 hectares of wine being grown, or vineyards that are planted. And that's about the size of three Prince Edward Islands if you're from Canada. In Chile, their Sunday comfort meal is empanadas, and this kind of wine goes really great because I've heard, though I haven't tried, is that the good empanadas are the ones that are juicy and droop out of your mouth and, are filled with great meat and cheeses and stuff like that, I believe. I haven't had them. And best thing that goes with that is a wine that's really high in acid. Why? Because it cuts the fat in your mouth, and that just means it's a good harmony. The two things go well together. Other things that you can pair them with is goat cheese, asparagus. You can pair it with sushi or Greek salad. And if you wanted to try some different styles, so if you typically drink New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, please try the Chilean. Really great price point, and it's just super fun to try ones from different regions. And this is where wine becomes fun. It's one of the reasons I started studying wine. South Africa is also another place that you could try some wine. And typically, you're going to get like lime, you're going to get gooseberry, you're going to get green apple, grass, sometimes tropical fruit. So I always say, like, if you like a dry wine that's high in acid and isn't really like fruit forward, there are some ones that will have a little more tropical fruit to them. But typically, I find that they're similar to this one, unless you get some from some other countries. And if you'd like some recommendations from me personally, feel free to hit me up. You can find my details below.